Hello and welcome to Watching Stuff, the show about watching stuff. I'm NERO, and with me is my Canadian counterpart, WHYBOY, and today we're talking about Infinity Train, which,
Yeah,
well, WHYBOY, why don't you pull some rank on me on this one?
Bosom rank.
Explain it. Yeah,
Well, it's basically about a girl who's on a train and it goes on for infinity. How's that for
that
rank?
is that's the pretty cut and dry of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and we recently just did a video on it based on a theory that you had where we said, like, is Tulip dead? Which you can see in that little annotation up above, and you can see if we were right or not. We weren't.
So we're gonna spoil everything in this podcast. So,
Yes, yeah, so the answer is we weren't right. For
by the
some
way,
things.
now's the chance to go back because we're going to be moving forward on this Infinity Train ride, and we're gonna if you haven't seen it, expect spoilers. So expect everything to be ruined. So I don't want to hear any "I hate you," "Go kill yourselves," "Can you comments?" I don't want none of that bunk.
it's it's literally just 10 episodes, so you can get through it pretty quickly in about 2 hours or so.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 50 minutes max.
Yes, yeah, apparently we get a season 2 coming in the future. But
Oh, that's selfish.
we'll talk about that a little bit later in the podcast. But what about Infinity Train?
Well, where would you like to start?
Um, well, basically, for those who haven't seen any of our past videos, Infinity Train stars our main character Tulip as she after running away from home as she's trying to get to Oshkosh to get to game design camp, arrives on the Infinity Train and is now trying to get off it by going through car to car to basically find a way off it. And along the way, she teams up with a little ball named One One and a little king corgi named Atticus. And just throughout their adventures, they go through weird different cars and Tulip learns all valuable life lessons and all that, and much more. In a lot of these sort of shows where you're supposed to learn life lessons by going on a journey and all that, these feel definitely more real when it comes to, like, the issues that she's dealing with.
Because it's not like ridiculous life lessons where it's like, oh, you should look before you leap, which I mean is important and everything, but like it's way deeper like stuff. Like it's like kids dealing with divorce.
Yeah, and it just beautifully visualized just the feeling of divorce and such. Like I forget the episode number, so you'll have to see for yourself when you actually go and watch it. But the actual visual of like the static covering Tulip as her memories of trying to fight between like a happy memory and a sad memory of what happening during her parents' divorce, it creates such a strong visual and emotional sort of like hook for the entire episode. It makes that one of my favorite episodes. And I know from a lot of fans that this really like tugged really hard for them, especially when they're like kids that have went through divorce like this.
And it's hard because there's the constant pull between like the parents. They're constantly fighting. You feel like you're at fault for everything.
Yeah, and even when you just try to make things happier and all that, you basically fight back in a much more antagonistic sort of way to basically try to make yourself stronger, even though you're very scared of what the change is happening next.
So it's really impressive because they if you go back to the pilot that we had seen, it's more quirky.
Yeah, where
You know
there's
what you know
an
what I mean?
actual joke where it's just like, I don't know if I can help you. I'm more like for myself. I'm selfish. Oh,
Ugh.
oh. Where in that it's actually, oh, that's a funny joke and all that. But in this, where Tulip is already being like that angsty teenager type and all that, adding a selfish joke on top of that would kind of undercut a lot of her growth.
Well, especially because by the time they got to the Atticus episode, she already had the character arc. She was already shown to be selfish previously with the whole situation with One One and the cat.
Hmm.
So the story is the basic setup is that she's this girl, 12-year-old on a train, and she's journeying through the train in hopes to get home. What about our cast? So Tulip is. We can start with Tulip,
Yeah,
and we'll work our way down. Tulip, I mean, I think she's a great protagonist.
yeah, yeah. She's a brainy sort of girl, all for intelligence, logic, and such. And very much someone who feels like she can just deal with all her own problems on her own because she's smart, she's mature and such, so she can do it.
That's
But
also the detriment to her as a person, though, is that she thinks she's so mature that's like, yeah, I can just do it all on my own. It's like everybody needs help one.
yeah, exactly. Like one of the key episodes for that is like the Mirror episode where she met up with like Mirror Tulip, and I thought that was also a very powerful episode, and it actually has much more lasting consequence after everything she learned in that episode, where she actually becomes basically like a vampire, where she loses her reflection in that episode.
I wonder, like, this is applying like real life logic to it. If there'll ever be a point where it's like, Tulip, where's your reflection? Oh my god, you're a vampire, and then someone like tries to stake her.
It's like, like, how is she ever gonna be able to fix her hair or see herself in the mirror to brush her teeth? Maybe Reflection Tulip will come back after she sees the world. But really, it's in that episode where she is able to see the reflection of herself that basically wants to do other things. But our Tulip is just an introvert who feels like I can do everything on my own. You can just leave me alone, I can do it. Where that just leads her to basically being closed off and not able to be open with people.
And that's a very teenager thing to do. To think like you could just do it all and get everything accomplished when it's not that easy.
Yeah, exactly. And that, that's just Tulip, and just throughout the journey, she just grows as a character, and it just creates such an emotional through line for her. And then we have help from the other two main characters, One One and Atticus. Like One One is just definitely a very fun little ball guy. Like he's very cute, he's marketable.
Which I'm sure is what the executives thought.
You're like, ah man, we like this well-written stuff, but man, we can make toys out of this if we go to season 2.
No, I'm pretty sure it was. How do you feel about this stuff that like dealing with like introversion or dealing with like being the subject of divorce between your parents, like a child dealing with having to forgive themselves to realize that it's not your fault this happened, that sometimes you know life doesn't work out like a fairy tale, and maybe even sometimes you repress bad memories with good memories. Yeah, it's great and all, but like,
what about the robot and the dog? Are they going to be in there?
Like the ball and the dog can be a toy. And it's like, I think you're getting really hung up on this idea about like what you can sell. What if we make a season 2? What if we just get one season done and see where we go?
At least we got the announcement for season 2 at the very end of the season. Like it's not like everything else. That's where it's just like they released season 2, like they announced season 2 like right when season 1 just starts out.
I mean, what was it like? DuckTales, like not even season 1 had like debuted. It's like we've been approved for like 3 seasons. It's like Jesus Christ. You want to maybe wait to make sure the show's good? Who cares? People will watch it. It's DuckTales.
Yeah, exactly. And just for the character of One One, like he's basically just sort of like two halves of the same whole. One side optimistic and one side pessimistic. And
would you say that it plays into the idea of like the emotional crux of the whole point of the train is that it doesn't necessarily give you what you want, but it gives you what you need?
Yeah.
Do you think One being optimistic and pessimistic, do you think that like that's the balance of it?
Yeah, he basically gets you both sides of it. Being optimistic is good, but you also have to be realistic as well. Or the pessimism, where he actually just stating clearly like the danger by the end of it.
Well, pessimism and realism is not the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. I know it's not.
No, I know what you mean. I just don't want people to think where it's like, because there's a quote in a book I've read. Keep talking about One. I want to look up the quote real quick.
And One is a character who just comes across as basically just being like a fun, lighthearted, like a little bit morbid sort of character that goes throughout the whole thing. But then you start to realize by the end of it how important One is to the actual story and Tulip's growth as well, because One basically becomes like a parallel to Tulip's like inability to want change, her inability to basically realize that she's not responsible for the divorce, the change in her life, and because she's not responsible for it, she shouldn't get as upset over not being able to control it. She has to be able to move along with it and change and accept that things are going to be the way they are. And One being basically this little robot, who by later in the season we see how much he basically just flips out when things on the train don't really just connect well together. it basically creates a good butting heads moment for the two, and also like a good friendship moment, like in this one scene where Tulip is checking on one to make sure that he's okay. It becomes a very cute sort of relationship between the two. And just with Atticus and such, Atticus becomes like the rock of the trio, where he's the one that basically is the most level headed of them, always pushing the way forward in a level-headed fashion through diplomatic sort of means, rather than always fighting, except for the monster that he's going after.
Well said.
Yeah, and also he's corgi, so he's cute.
Yeah. The quote I was looking at was from Flex Mentallo.
Yeah.
And the quote was, "Only a bitter little adolescent boy could confuse realism and pessimism," which was Grant Morrison's take on a lot of times where it's like, in order for things to be realistic, they have to be miserable.
Right.
Which is a perfect summation for like Man of Steel and the DC movies, where it's like, Man of Steel is realistic. And it's like, no, Man of Steel is pessimistic. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like miserable and sad. That's not realism.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, life is full of like heartache. Yeah, life is also full of joy.
Yeah. And like there's a lot of pessimistic moments talking about like divorce and such in this series, but there's also Duck Car.
Yeah, there's the duck car. So I mean, you got that going for you. And no one wants to be in the duck car. There's a duck there with weird eyes that wants you to like help it fix its eyes.
Yeah, but then you push it out of the way and be like, I don't want to fix your eyes, get out of here.
Get out of here, duck car. Punch.
Well,
yeah, like out of the trio, who would you say you resonate with?
Tulip.
Yeah.
I feel Tulip is a lot like me, because I do like to be the one that basically like I take responsibility for a lot of things because I want control over everything. I want to be able to know that I can change something in the future to basically make it better for myself. But that's really an unhealthy sort of mindset to have, because obviously basically not everything is my fault. Not something's going to be way out of my control, like there are things out of Tulip's control. So I can really understand her growth throughout the entire show, where it's just like, man, I can see it, where she took control in places where she knew she can take control, but let go of like the divorce and such, and knows that change is happening, so I have to change with it. And that sort of leads me to the discussion of basically our theory and such, where we said, like, is Tulip dead? So maybe we should describe what the train actually is. Because
I mean, what it actually is up to interpretation.
Yeah. Basically, in our theory, we described it as sort of like a limbo sort of state, where people who basically enter the train basically died in the real world, ended up on the train, and this was basically limbo, and where the number on your hand basically means when it's going down and down, like that would mean like you're dead on it, dead on the train.
Well, like, what was it, episode 2?
Yeah.
Sad one's like, when it gets to 0,
you're
dead. Oh, I'm gonna be dead or not? I don't know.
Yeah, so you don't
Why
really know.
Say that?
and then the cat comes in to be like, oh well, oh your number's going down. The train must be thinking that you're doing well. So it becomes like a very ambiguous sort of thing. And I think that's what I like most about the writing of it. Like, Owen Dennis knew what that first episode set up were. It's just like, the guy gets blasted by the ray and all that. Tulip sees it like, oh my god, I don't want that to happen to me. But in reality, the number, the ray that's blasting that guy and just vaporizing him, those were all good things to happen.
Yeah, Owen Dennis. I was about to say Owen Wilson for some reason. Wow. Owen Dennis tricked us. Wow. Owen Dennis tricked us. He's a tricky trickster pants who tricked us with his trickery. He knew morons would make pessimistic videos about death. I was that pessimistic moron. Ha ha!
Hey, I agreed with you. I agreed with that. We basically just sort of forgot where it's just like, if this is a limbo state and there's so many other people in it, is everyone just dying on the train sort of thing?
People die all the time, Taylor.
But do they die on a magical train where they get into the duck car and maybe get stabbed to death by ducks?
Can you disprove that people don't take a train when they die to get stabbed in a duck car surrounded by ducks? Can you disprove that theory?
I cannot. I can prove though that apparently what the train is situated for, like, for each each person that's on the train, like Tulip, they're basically going through the cars and such, basically learning life lessons and all that. And basically, once they basically accept the changes and such, accept the life lessons, the train basically says like, okay, you can come off now. The laser comes in, opens the door in the car they're in, and they are able to leave.
But if you make wrong decisions, the number goes up and you have to stay on the train longer.
Yeah, so you can stay on there for years.
Or until you're dead.
Yeah. And for our theory, I think we are correct in this stating that this is a limbo sort of world because it is infinity and such like that. But we just took it in a more pessimistic route, being like, if your number goes down, you're dead.
I mean, that guy looked like he died.
Well, he did rip apart in very little pieces where he got blasted away. So,
what do we call him? Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy, yeah.
We were like we gave him like a random name when you and I were watching it. And it was just like Teddy. Oh, Teddy's dead.
Teddy was on an adventure, then he got blasted away. That's the end of Teddy's adventure.
I wonder what Teddy's story is.
Yeah.
Like once you get to the end, it's just like, oh, I wonder what Teddy's story was.
And that is a good segue to season 2 and such, because now that we know that it's like dozens of people on the train going through their own journeys and all that, all have numbers, all have like different numbers on them. We know where this could actually go if it's done by, the correct people doing it. If the seasons that we see from now on are still mini-series style, and we just go with a new main character in season 2, then we can go to like Teddy's story and such. Shut up, Siri.
Siri knows what's up. She gets it.
No, Siri doesn't know what's up. If we go into season 2, we go into a new character's perspective, then we follow them on the train as they're dealing with. I'm going to guess Owen will go with like another sort of like much harder sort of topic to basically go forward. Like not divorce because we already did divorce, but something different, but in that sort of same vein.
Maybe being gay or trans.
Yeah, something like that. Like something, and there's more media and such, and they'll move out to
maybe actually addressing something like that as opposed to being hand wavy on it, like Rocco or
Staticling, yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking about the other one. One of my friends told me in season 3 they were like, oh, they made a lesbian couple in She-Ra. They're not really on screen that long for anything, and it's like, oh, so the creator was just like bragging that like I did this thing, brownie points, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty much that.
Yeah. Yeah, in Infinity Train's case, it does address the elephant in the room of divorce and such, and shows how difficult it is, and even gives like a parallel with the main villain of the series, the conductor with Tulip. And it creates a nice moment at the very end, where I really like it. I'm looking forward to season 2, but definitely am worried for it. Where I'm worried for this case where it's just like if 1-1 and Atticus came back as just like toyetic characters to be like, every season we're back or Tulip's back.
Because it follows the Doctor Who thing with me. Now I know you don't watch Doctor Who, but you understand the premise. A mortal alien basically turns into a different actor, so the franchise can go on indefinitely.
Yeah.
Part of the charm of Doctor Who is when there is the change. Yeah. When there's a new companion, a new Doctor, a new TARDIS, a new Sonic Screwdriver, new enemies. Right. I understand the logic of bringing back stuff. It's why like the stupid Daleks keep showing up in every incarnation of Doctor Who, even though the Daleks suck.
Right.
But they're iconic. But I feel like with Infinity Train, the iconography is the train. The train is that's it. I don't like personally. Season 2, I don't want 1-1. I don't want Atticus. I don't want Tulip. It doesn't even need to be an all-new character per se, because I know Amelia was a character they introduced in this season. I would have loved to see her story.
Yeah, definitely.
Although we did get a pretty good job with it as abridged as it is in the first season, so if we didn't, I'm fine with that. But I think you could do something interesting with her. Now that we brought it up, I think Ted's story, that no-named guy we call Ted, I think Ted's story could be fascinating. Yeah, to be like,
and then it's just at the end where it's just like Tulip's outside, like, oh my god, what happened to that guy? But Teddy's just going out to wherever he's going back to.
Yeah,
Like,
like I think the thing is that we are situated with a narrative tool that can be we can do anything, and
yeah,
that's the cool part. Like, and here's the thing: who says that it has to be a character from modern time?
yeah,
Like, what if it's a knight
yeah,
from like ye olden time? Ye ye like ye olden times, where old is spelled with the
yeah.
e at the end.
I do know from the computer screen that we see near the end where we actually are revealed to see like all the passengers that are on the train going through the train. Well, one of them looks like just modern day people, so I think it basically works within like the realm of the current time period and such. But yeah, a knight
It,
would be good and
it,
such. Yeah,
but you're also presuming that everybody we saw on those screens was everybody on the train. We don't know that.
yeah, it is true. It was just flashing
Like
through at the show
Fred
Tulip.
Fred Flintstone could be on that train somewhere right now.
Probably being the death by ducks. The duck car is the duck car is dangerous, man.
I mean, it's not as creepy as straight up Italy car.
You're just straight up Italy car.
For like no context is given. Just
It's
this woman has a rose for a head. She's Italian.
It's just straight up Italy, but just how everyone has like weird heads.
Well, the one character we saw, the one character had a weird head. She was just a flower.
Yeah.
What do you want out of a season two? Like what resonates with you? Where you're like, this is what I would like to see.
Then I'm not sure. I guess what will resonate with me is like basically going off with a different story. I don't want it to be like I don't want season two to become like an episodic sort of series where it's just like every episode is like a new character coming in. I like the sort of mini series sort of format they're going with because then we get a lot more time to basically see the actual character arc rather than going through like a 10-minute like arc with a random character we don't know. 'Cause-
Well, it would lose really any kind of drive if you changed the protagonist every episode.
yeah, exactly. Like Tulip would not be as well rounded of a character if like her story ended after like the first episode.
Divorce sucks. The end.
Divorce sucks. Hey, wait a minute, you gotta accept change. Oh, okay, I accept change. The end.
What was this? The writers of Zootopia?
Yeah.
Racism sucks. Well, I'm sure you'll have a lot of converts after that thought-provoking statement. Thank you for that.
Super thought provoking. But I think with that, I think that's all I really have to say about Infinity Train. Like, I just think it's a must watch series, just like simply put like that. And
Can we address the elephant in the room?
yeah, what's the elephant in the room?
Over the Garden Wall sucks,
Yeah,
and this was far better.
yeah. It really was. It basically it nailed.
This knew what it wanted to be.
Yeah, Albert Gardenwell didn't really know what it was wanting to be by the end.
Well, I mean, I think my takeaway from Over the Garden Wall is it wanted to be about stories.
Yeah,
So it was like, everybody's got a story. And it's like, yeah, okay, but this isn't how you should tell. Like, storytelling should be with a finite character that you follow from a beginning to end. Not, here's a character, and then we go over here, and then eventually it turns into this hodgepodge of branches.
well, I think the main thing that was wrong in that series for me was like Greg was there because like Greg was just the wrench that basically threw everything off in terms of tone. Like the other boy, Wart. Wart and the bird were basically like the key characters for me to be like, oh wow, I love it for these two. Greg is no.
Rick's freaking annoying.
He really is. And his one episode where it's just like a reference to like old timey cartoons and such, being like, wow, this is pointless to everything.
It's from like a kid's mentality. Who cares?
Or maybe it happened. Who knows? It could have just been the monster going to his dreams. Who knows?
Like, does Infinity Train leave things ambiguous? Oh yeah. Like, what is the train? I don't know. Like, why does it exist? What?
Yeah, you just
It
assume that
grows
it's
a
being like,
person.
yeah, it basically grow as a person, basically to keep people who don't want to change, who have like just horrible things that don't, people who just want to run away.
I mean, for all we know, maybe Tulip was never really on the train.
Yeah, yeah, our theory could have been correct, and she could have just been passed down in the snow.
I mean, if she gets off the train, it's like she's just back home. It's been like a couple of months.
Yeah, because they clearly say a couple of months have passed with her on the train.
Well, no, but like when she's off the train,
Oh,
they
that's
say like X amount of months passed.
oh, oh yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, like a couple months have passed on the train. What happens when she gets off the train? Does she appear a couple of months later, and the parents are just like, "Where did you go?"
Yeah, or was it just like she was gone a couple hours?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that's clearly not the most like pressing sort of question for the creator himself, because it's just like, who cares about that? We care about Tulip.
Yeah, like it's not a matter of like time that passed and stuff. Well, again, that's the idea of where it's like, well, what about the realism? Yeah, your realism is leading to pessimism because like you want specific things to be explained.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I
exactly.
guess I mean I'm guilty of. I'm not going to get on a high horse and say I'm not because like I'm still hung up on Frozen where it's like, why does Elsa have ice powers? And it's like, does it matter? Little bit only because no one else in her family is magic.
Yeah,
So it's really weird. Where it's just like, by the way, magic baby. Was
yeah,
it at least like a curse?
yeah.
Something like you
Dude,
don't have to give me you don't have to give me a lot, but
yeah, that's a little bit.
like with the train, it's like the train could be metaphysical, the train could be spiritual. Maybe there really is just a freaking train that picks you up.
Yeah, it would be weird though, because in one of the scenes, the train tracks were on the roof of a building, the roof of like a school at one point. You're like, I don't think they would put train tracks there.
Well, but it's like a magic train though.
Yeah,
It could do that. It's like Harry Potter.
well, that's more what I mean. Like when you say like it's a real train, real train.
Well, it's a real train in that like it's something you legitimately get onto and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Not real like it's realistic, no.
yeah.
But
I know.
like it like the Infinity Train was legitimately she was out in the snow. A magic ghost train appeared. She got on the magic ghost train and she went on a harrowing adventure with robots and like
Corgi.
talking turtles and talking dogs. Yeah,
Yeah. No.
you know, Ben Mendelsohn was a fucking like cop.
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn shows up as a mirror cop.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool.
That was cool. No, I love them. I love them. The mirror cops are great. And also, it's fun to hear Ben Mendelsohn in a kids cartoon.
Yeah. I always like the Crystal World, especially like at the very end of it. But
No, the
yep. Yeah. But let's leave that for everyone else to watch it for themselves. What would you
yeah,
rate the
like
series Infinity Train?
oh this is this is a must. What you have to see this like because I don't want to build it up where it's like it broke new ground. No,
It's not
no, it really
it's
like
not
it's
about
just it's
breaking new ground all the time. It's about telling a good story about a good theme, and basically it does it really well.
no. That's why I have so many problems where like it feels like every Disney movie now. It's like we need to break new ground. Like Dory. Oh, we talked about mental illness. Okay, Frozen. Oh, it's like an allegory for being gay. It's really not, but all right. Zootopia. Racism sucks. Uh huh. What about just like a nice solid story? Oh, Wreck-It Ralph 2. What is this crap? Oh, right. The audience just didn't like this one for some reason.
Yeah, where it actually talks about a much more deeper sort of subject.
It's like you and me with like the Grinch. You have the first one. Hey, it's the book personified. Aces, great. Second one with Jim Carrey. People are like, some people, if you're like me, hey, this is fun. He's a little bit too aggressive, and for some real weird reason, they try to make the Who's even worse people to try and validate that's okay for Grinch to be like this when it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
And then the new one came out, and you and I were like, oh, it's dealing with like anxiety. That's interesting. People, what is this crap?
He's not evil enough.
Why isn't he abusing his dog? Yeah, that's what we needed. We needed another version where he abuses the dog because the first two wasn't enough. We needed a third one where it's like, what if I beat the crap out of Max?
Yeah. Yeah, like it's ridiculous. Like I would say, this is a must-watch too. Definitely go out to see it, and I'm definitely gonna pick this up when it comes out, hopefully on DVD in a timely fashion.
Yeah, Cartoon Network. You're really bad at like everything you do, especially like releasing stuff on DVDs.
So please, actually release this on DVD in a timely fashion.
Yeah, for God's sakes. You shafted me out of Megas XLR, which I will never forgive you for, ever.
Or at least give us this.
Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud. Like, this did so well that you greenlit it for a second season. You didn't greenlit Over the Garden Wall for a second season. Heck, you guys canceled OKKO after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You made sure to drag Steven Universe like a dog dragging its butt across the rug.
Showing the end Cartoon Network, you should just clean yourself up. You're a mess.
Yeah. But I loved Infinite Train. I cannot speak any highly about it.
Oh, definitely. But I think with that, that's the end of our podcast for today.
Hooray! Now, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to support us and help us stay strong, you can support us through Patreon or shop at our online TeePublic store. That always helps to keep the lights on at home.
If you want to look at our theory for Infinity Train, that is now definitely wrong except for the limbo part. You can click the annotation up above or in the description below, and that'll take you directly there. Tell us how wrong we were.
But don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there.
There are real butt noses.
Being serious butt noses about the whole ordeal for no reason.
That's just people on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, as always, be sure to tune in
To ToonGrin.